So there are a couple new games that are headed to the Nintendo Switch that got new information dropped today that I want to talk about, and then we have to cover the huge internet discussion point that has really popped up over the last week, and that is the fact that we are likely around the corner from getting Game Boy and Game Boy Color systems added to Nintendo Switch Online. And I want to cover where these rumors stem from and how credible are they, and can we expect these to be the next systems added to the Nintendo Switch Online service. What's up, Nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. Now, as I mentioned, guys, we were talking about a few different stories today, the first of which I want to cover is a game that will actually be headed to all platforms, but it is coming to the Nintendo Switch also, and that is Hot Wheels Unleashed. And if you guys grew up in the N64 era like I did, you may have some nostalgia for a Hot Wheels title, as Hot Wheels Turbo Racing was released back in the N64 back in the day, and it was a crazy, like, over-the-top game that I absolutely loved playing with friends. You could ramp off of different Hot Wheels styles tracks and do crazy flips in the air and get all types of turbos and boosts and things, and I'm more into those arcadey type of racers. This one does appear to surprisingly be going in a more realistic direction, as if you look at the gameplay for Hot Wheels Unleashed, it definitely looks like, you know, they're not doing the flips in the air, they're not doing crazy moves, and I hope that maybe there's a mode buried behind the game that we don't know about that will allow us to do stuff like that, because that's definitely how I would have the most fun with a game like this. But we did get a new big update announcing essentially that we will see continued support for DLC after this game is released in 3 different Hot Wheels Pass volumes. They have volume 1, 2, and 3, and then they kind of have, I guess, the ability to buy single items as well, like vehicles, track builder modules, and then customization items. And then they're even going to be doing things like expanding the environments, other vehicles, and they'll have something called Racing Seasons, and it looks like they're going to be partnering with a lot of different brands, and you know, some of them being really cool because they're actually video game themed or even a superhero comic book themed, as you have Superman, Batman, you have Street Fighter, you have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles all included in there, and then just Wonder Woman, DC Universe, you know, even just car manufacturers like BMW and McLaren. So, you know, this game does look good. The graphics look incredible. Like I said, I'm a little bit disappointed that they got away from the arcade style craziness that was Hot Wheels Turbo Racing, but Hot Wheels Unleashed is at least, you know, kind of a fun throwback to the Hot Wheels series, and I will be planning on at least picking this up. Maybe they'll release a demo. I don't know if I'll get it at a full price release or just wait for it to go on sale, but it is interesting enough that I did want to provide the update to you guys in case you are interested in this game. Now, as I mentioned, I do like arcade style racers and a little bit more in the unrealistic world, as I just have more fun with those, and the next game we're talking about definitely delivers on that, as Cruis'n Blast will be releasing on September 14th, and we got a new vehicle overview trailer. And guys, the gameplay to this just looks too fun to pass up. This is one that I will definitely be picking up and checking out, and I do think it looks ridiculous in some rights because you literally have like a shark racing next to a car, but that's the kind of racing style games that I like, that are fun. You run your friends off the track, you compete to see who can get, you know, over the finish line first. And you know, I have a lot of memories of playing this game both on the N64 and just in random arcades and different places that I've been to over the years that have cruising machines. I love to sit down and play at them, and I do think that this will be a fun title to pick up on the Switch when it releases on September 14th. But I would love to know from you guys on the 2 different racing games that we talked about so far, if you're interested in either one, and if you will be picking up either Hot Wheels Unleashed or Cruis'n Blast when they do release later this year. Now, the big talking point today, guys, is one that I really am excited to dive back into. Is if you've been around here on the channel for a while, chances are you've seen me make numerous videos discussing the kind of upgrades that we need to see from Nintendo when it comes to Nintendo Switch Online service, as we have just clearly seen them kind of do less and less updates to new games over the course of time when it comes to NES and SNES library of games. And it's definitely that getting to be that season that fans are just ready to see, is Nintendo going to do anything with this service, or are they just going to always keep it as that $1.99 a month or $20 a year service and say that it's enough value because you get over 100 classic games and you can play online with friends, and this is really maybe the end of updates for NSO. And so the reason it's in the headlines again today is we did have gaming news websites pick this up and essentially run with the story, now some of which sounds more like speculation from some people who are, you know, very in the know when it comes to development and things like this. And there was definitely a data mine that happened last year that shows some unutilized emulators in the code for the Nintendo Switch firmware, and up to this point in time we have no clue what they're there for or what they do, and it definitely, you know, points towards the fact that this is probably something that is in the works for Nintendo to deliver some new systems into the NSO service. But first, I want to hop over to Nintendo Life and read through an article that they typed up, as it does do a really good job breaking down where the different sources are coming from and how maybe, credible it is, and if we can expect these things to come to the NSO soon. Rumor has it that Nintendo Switch Online will soon be adding Game Boy and Game Boy Color titles, but GBA will be left out. The speculation ties in with a 2019 data mine in which 4 emulators uncovered within the official NES Switch app. One of these, which goes by the name Hyoko, is thought to be for the Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. Today, YouTuber Nate Drake, who seems to have a bit of a track record with Nintendo rumors, published a new Nate the Hate podcast in which he, along with host MVG, discussed the possibility of Nintendo Switch Online expanding to include classic Game Boy and Game Boy Color content. Separately, Nintendo Life claims to have heard from its own sources that this will be happening really soon. At the moment, there is no reason to believe that GBA will be included in Nintendo Switch Online. Beyond that, there's not much else to report. It's unclear what the lineup of initial games would be and when exactly Nintendo Switch Online expansion would be taking place. That being said, we're almost in September, which has been a popular month for Nintendo Directs, and Nintendo has made announcements regarding the service during these presentations. It would make sense for nothing to happen there. Now, the first thing I want to stress to this story, when it comes especially to like the Nate the Hate podcast, is they did a great job breaking down the speculation on why this could be coming to Nintendo Switch Online, but I don't think they claimed it to be some kind of inside source or leak. Like, Nate the Hate has definitely, has insiders in the industry that he is connected with and knows things and has had a great track record with Nintendo. But this podcast, to me, if you actually go in and listen to it, does not sound like he is claiming that to be the case with this particular story. He's not saying he's leaking something that he knows. He's just merely speculating upon the fact that there are definitely emulators that are unused in the Switch's firmware right now. So that's kind of the first point to kind of take away with this, and that it could all just be fluff and speculation, and it's not necessarily going to happen. However, the reason I did really want to talk about it is Nintendo Life, who also has, a track record of calling some things out and reporting on them before anybody else, has said that they have their own sources. Now, who are those sources? We don't know, but has had their own sources that have backed this up and said that these are most likely the next 2 systems to come. And while it's kind of disappointing if they only give us Game Boy and Game Boy Color, it's at least something new. I would be surprised if we don't get Game Boy Advance announced with these, but regardless, I do think it's time for Nintendo to do something for the Nintendo Switch Online service, and it does kind of sound like a Nintendo thing to do, to just give us Game Boy and Game Boy Color and say, hey, that's good enough for now, guys, and maybe we can talk about Game Boy Advance later on, and maybe we'll talk about N64 coming to the service one day. But that's all remains to be seen. I definitely think that we are in the window of this announcement now, as it's gonna be happening sometime soon. The Nintendo Direct will take place in September. I'm very confident in stating that, as I just think that history paints the picture that they absolutely will deliver us a September Direct, and they want to hype up their holiday season games. Now, whether it comes this week or next week or the week after, we all have to wait and see for that stuff, but I think that event is the perfect time to announce something like this. And it'll be really interesting to see if it will just be Game Boy and Game Boy Color, or maybe they throw us a bone and give us the full lineup and include Game Boy Advance. And that's really where I'm holding out my hope for, because I think a lot of the games that I would want to see come to Nintendo Switch Online mostly fall with Game Boy Advance. Now, if Pokemon Company gets involved and gives us some of the old Pokemon Yellow that will actually come out on Game Boy Color or Game Boy Original, that's fine with me. I'm like more than happy to have some big hitters like that on the first Game Boy systems. We can even go back and play like Link's Awakening DX. There's a lot of different games that they could add in from the older library. Definitely Mario Land games, and even some of the Donkey Kong ones would be great to play through. But at this point in the video, guys, I want to hear from you on all your thoughts and opinions on this matter. First of all, comment down below if you will be picking up either of the first 2 racing games that we covered today, with that being Hot Wheels Unleashed or Cruis'n Blast on the Nintendo Switch. And then the big question I want to hear from you on is, what is your personal prediction on, what Nintendo is planning next with Nintendo Switch Online? Do you think we will see the Game Boy and Game Boy Color systems announced, or do you think this is all just rumor mill speculation talk and Nintendo probably has nothing planned for the foreseeable future in terms of NSO upgrades? And then also let me know which games you hope we see announced if we do see them include something like a new system at a September Nintendo Direct. Thanks so much for watching the video today, everyone. I do truly appreciate you all sticking around until the end. I do at this point in the video want to invite you all one more time to join Sunbro Nation if you haven't done so already. Do so by subscribing below, hit the like button on your way out if you enjoyed it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. That's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you all have a great day. Sunbro Nation, out.